Okay. Well, first of all, probably a bit about me. I head this human resource function as a CHRO of the group, and I'm a human resource professional, having done my MBA and spent last about 18 years in the human resource field, specifically in the GCC. I work for a group, BMA International, which is basically a fashion retail group. So what we do is we operate within the value fashion retail space in the Middle East. We have value fashion stores. So we operate about 160 stores within the Middle East. Employ almost about 7,000 employees as a group. It's spread across about 20 different cities and about 6 different countries of the Middle East. So basically, in the retail industry, the few important you can say nuances of that industry is that we work with a pretty young workforce. At the same time, we work with high turnovers and specifically within the GCC. We have the other aspects that most of the employees are expatriates. We have shortage of skills. So when we bring in employees from different regions, there are a lot of apart from the work-related aspects, there are a lot of aspects that need to be taken care of. For example, their housing, their transportation, their visas, and sponsorships, etc. So all these things for an employee life cycle completely need to be managed as an HR process. Now, on top of, so this is a normal HR process. On top of that, we have got other complexities in terms of turnovers, managing the turnover. So that puts pressure on the recruitment. We need to, because there are a lot of local complements and local employees there. There are statutory regulations in different countries. Turnaround time or service delivery, as we say from an HR perspective, has to be very good, because when an employee leaves, you want him to leave with a good note. And similarly, when you want to attract employees, you want to onboard them with a really strong integration into the organization. So all these requirements create a huge amount of challenge for us within the industry. After implementing Ramco, what we have done is, what we have achieved rather, is basically that Ramco has helped us in our recruitment process. So our employee record creation process, how we integrate an employee into the organization life cycle. So how soon he can be integrated in terms of his payroll, in terms of his benefit structures, in terms of visas, etc. That has tremendously cut down. Then his payroll processing. So we have employees spread all across. Now they need to be paid into their bank accounts on a certain date and time. And for that, for an organization which is where employees are spread all across, you need to verify the timings and their overtimes and the clockings, all those things. So using Ramco, now we have been able to synchronize all of those transactions that are required for payroll, and make sure that our payroll processing time has been really minimized. Second thing, we have cut out all the paperwork that was required for the payroll processing. So now all these transactions related to the employee verifications and this working, etc., go online. They go directly into the payroll, and from there you are able to pay an employee. So that tremendously cuts down all the processing work. Finally, as an employee life cycle departure, when an employee is leaving, all his similar transactions that are required for severance can be done effortlessly without much of paperwork and much faster process. So the turnaround time for the administrative process, etc., that's required, that has considerably reduced since we've implemented Ramco. Okay, well, when we were looking at a software, basically, again, we are a growing company. So we wanted a product that could, obviously, we had a long wish list, and we probably may not be able to go through into all the details of how we selected Ramco. But some of the key considerations were that we needed a product which could handle the size and scope of our organization. So we have roughly about 8,000 employees with about 6-7 different statutory requirements and growing. So we wanted, over the next 3 years or 5 years, a software which could scale up the organization size with the organization growth, could manage all the different complexities in terms of different statutory requirements. Also, we wanted a software where flexibility is there. The vendor support is very strong and customer oriented. We wanted a software which could be implemented fairly quickly, and then would have pretty robust workflows which are not very complicated, so that our user adapt to the software quickly. And then there were a lot of technical requirements, obviously, the technical support and the strength of the vendors, etc., which the IT guys evaluate. Now, based on that, when we went to the market and we started evaluating various applications, so from the size, from the vendor support, from the price perspective, and from the ease of adaptability, we thought Ramco made the best proposition for us as an organization, and that's where we sort of zeroed in on Ramco. And it was not, for example, it was a business decision. It was not HR or someone alone. So there were a team of IT guys who evaluated independently. There were a team of HR guys who evaluated the functionality part separately, and both of us felt that Ramco made a good proposition for us as a business. I think it's a good forum. It brings together, it's a good mix of people. Very interesting so far. It's good to get different perspective and to see how the same product is helping people differently. And there's a good takeaway that you get a good cross fertilization of ideas, and you get a lot of jot down a lot of points what you can probably go back and do. Welcome. Thank you very much.